Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Today, we're going to be taking a look at a clip of a fat activist saying there are no plus-size vintage clothes, and if you can fit into vintage clothes, you have skinny privilege. Have I done enough quotation marks? Sorry. We're also going to be taking a look at a few bonus clips, including one where somebody says skinny people say the wildest things to fat people, so be sure to stick around until the end. Before we proceed, please click the like button so that I may apply comb to mustache.
No one talks enough about skinny privilege in the context of vintage shopping because it's so annoying to not be able to go vintage or secondhand shopping as a bigger girl. Like, nothing fits, and I know...
So are you saying that the people that wore those clothes back in the day also had skinny privilege?
Back in the 80s, 90s, whatever, everyone was like a lot skinnier, so clothes generally were skinnier, but...
Why is that?
Surely there were bigger girls there as well.
If there are no bigger sizes, that should tell you something.
I just want to be able to go into a shop and pick up a cute little skirt or a little top that actually goes over these and it not be a thing. And I don't think that skinny, thin...
You want a top that actually goes over your boobs. Okay, well, people had boobs back in the 80s and 90s as well, so I don't think that's the problem, bestie. I'm not trying to be mean, but I don't think that's the problem.
And girlies realize how privileged and how lucky they are to be able to do that, because it's actually like...
Other people aren't privileged because you don't fit into clothes. That's honestly one of the dumbest takes ever, this whole thin privilege thing. All you have to do to get thin privilege is not cause yourself to become obese. Do I also have privilege if I'm not currently drunk? Do I have privilege if I work really hard and get a promotion? No, I wouldn't consider that privilege. I would consider that a reward for your hard work. Likewise, if you're obese and can't fit into clothes, that's your own doing. Other people that can fit into clothes don't have privilege because they didn't put themselves in this negative situation like you did.
Impossible. I have to search and search and search through vintage, through like secondhand stores, vintage shops, charity shops, and you see something that you like, you want to find it on Vinted, and then they only have like tiny sizes. And
okay, and this is not enough to precipitate change, huh? Some people would see not being able to fit into various garments as some kind of red flag, but, you know.
And yeah, and listen, this is not me complaining about my size. Very glad to be in this body, but yeah, there is definitely a level of ease in which skinny people and thin people are able to shop.
Okay, well, if you want to experience that same ease of shopping, then I suggest you live a similar lifestyle to them.
Whether that be high streets, and vintage shopping is just annoying, and I guess there's nothing we can really do about it because it is just secondhand and those sizes are just what's available. But yeah, let's discuss.
I'm also angry that there aren't more plus-size vintage clothes. Even though there weren't really a whole lot of obese people back then. I'm still mad, somehow. It would be one thing to just complain that there aren't a whole lot of plus-size vintage clothes, but to then say that people that can fit into vintage clothes have thin privilege is really dumb. If they have privilege because of their own actions, then I wouldn't call it that. I would call it a reward for your hard work. I don't have privilege because I'm not drunk. I didn't drink. I took the actions to make sure that I fit into the clothes. She thinks that everybody back in the 90s had privilege, and then as time went on, it just slowly eroded away. Like, what even does any of this mean? Next.
It always intrigues me that people are so quick to call out fat people for being fat and acknowledging that being fat contributes to X, illness or is a risk factor for this and this and this. But then they don't take the same energy to the obvious risk factors that already exist in their own lives or just in general.
So you're saying I should stop smoking crack, in addition to losing weight? Alright, this is just crazy enough to work.
I don't really understand why being a fat person, is any more of a prominent or significant risk to something as another risk factor.
Okay, well maybe you should learn how to read statistics.
For example, something like, I don't know, heart disease or some variation of heart disease. Yes, being overweight or being fat can contribute to your risk of developing it, but so can things like not drinking enough water to drain your body.
Okay, so my heart disease might be caused by my obesity, or it might be because I didn't drink enough water. I didn't know that not drinking enough water can give you heart disease. I'm learning a lot.
Not eating a balanced diet that has multiple different types of carbohydrates, fat.
What? That's what you think health is, eating multiple different types of carbohydrates. Okay.
Fats, proteins, sugars to help digest food and clear out the arteries in your heart.
What in the world, bro? What? You said, so obesity could cause heart disease, but it could be caused by not drinking enough water to drain your body. Whatever the hell sort of stupid new age mystical bullshit that is. Not eating a balanced diet that has multiple different types of carbs, fats, proteins, sugars to help digest food and clear out the arteries in your heart. You think that sugars clear out the arteries in your heart and prevent heart disease. It's not the obesity. You didn't eat enough different types of carbs. That is the dumbest shit that I have ever heard in my entire life. I know I say that every single day, but it can be true every day. We can hear something dumber than the previous day with each passing day.
Food and clear out the arteries in your heart.
The arteries in your heart.
You know,
Go on, Doc.
things like smoking, drinking alcohol, not getting enough exercise, or
It is a good comparison to compare obesity to smoking and drinking and not getting enough exercise. These are all lifestyle problems.
not getting sufficient exercise to reduce the risk. These are all risk factors of heart disease, but for some reason, the others are just thrown under a carpet because being fat is the worst thing that could ever happen to you.
Yeah, people keep forgetting the part about how sugar clears out your arteries. You know what I mean? Like, if these morons just knew how it worked, then they'd probably stop blaming everything on obesity. You know what I mean? Like,
It's really not. Like, there are so many worse things that you can be than fat.
okay, well, we shouldn't encourage people to have an unhealthy lifestyle because there are other, even unhealthier ones.
To credit the song, but I just think it's really important for people to actually think before they're
God, that's ironic. Yeah, you dunderbeaks, use your brains. Come on.
coming onto a fat person's page and deciding that their existence is automatically a risk factor for every illness in the world.
Well, I didn't decide that. Statistics did.
Maybe think about the things that you do in your life that are risk factors for the same illness, because
Well, I didn't eat like several different types of carbs, so I probably will get heart disease.
your weight is definitely not the only indication.
Okay, that was really dumb, honestly. That was like seriously some of the dumbest nonsense that I've heard thus far, which is very impressive because I've heard a lot. Okay, so heart disease is not caused by obesity. It's caused by a lack of different carbohydrates, proteins, fats, and sugars to clear out your arterial walls. That's really bizarre, man. Next.
As a fat, skinny people say some of the most interesting things.
A fat.
Let's talk about it. One of the strangest things.
Hold on. What is this little spritzy deal that we're putting on our face now?
As a fat, skinny people say some of the most interesting things. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Oh, what, you don't spritz your face before we have a conversation? I do. I always start a conversation like that. Hey, what's up? I come into the room just spritzing.
One of the strangest things that skinny people love telling fat people, in my opinion, I just think this is so strange, is that they look like they would give really good hugs. Why do you guys say that? In every video.
I've never said that. I've never remarked on somebody's huggability. That is weird.
You look like you give really good hugs.
I do? That's weird because I uppercut people when they try to hug me. So I'm sorry if I gave you that vibe. I recommend you don't come too close. You look like you give really good hugs. Really? Because I'm actually really violent and I hate people. So I would recommend you don't even get within 2 feet. You might get choked out. I'm just joking. You can hug me. If you ever see me in person, you can hug me and get a picture with me, dude. If I try to avoid you for some reason, I probably didn't shower that day. That's all that is. Don't take it personal. It's a me problem.
Yo, I see a fat person, there is gonna be a comment that says you look like you would give the best hugs. And this is not to be confused with if you do get the opportunity to hug one of us.
What are these weird ass little dots, bro? Hold on. With these weird little, she put a couple specks over here, this thing there. Okay. Sorry, I'll try to focus. Okay, so we're talking about how it's weird to tell larger people that they would give good hugs. I agree, that is a very, very strange thing to talk about. Don't tell me how good you think my hugs are, stupid. Kind of weird ass, stupid small talk nonsense. If you got no good small talk, then just shut the hell up. All right, you're ruining this elevator ride.
The best hugs. I feel like that's fine because I think you can say that to anybody. It's just such a strange comment. It's not inherently like bad or good, really. It's just weird. Like,
I agree. And I didn't know that we were being judged on our huggability out there in society. This is making me a little self-conscious, honestly.
It's just a weird thing, and I don't know why skinny people say it. I don't know what they mean by that. If you're fat, you know this is totally just a thing that you get told.
Well, because they think that you look soft, I guess? I don't know, dude. People are idiots.
So weird. The thing that really pisses me off that skinny people say, this will be like, say I'm like eating In-N-Out or something, just living my life next to a skinny person. And the skinny person then says, I wish I could eat that. I would just gain so much weight.
Okay, maybe they think that they're giving you a subtle dietary suggestion there. Dude, the double-double, super delicious. One of the best burgers ever, man. Yeah, so I've heard. I could never eat that, though. Otherwise, I'll become obese and look like... I could never eat such a burger. Yeah, man, it's just that it's so What the hell? What was that little look up and down? You could never eat a burger because you'd look like... And then you did this little up and down look thing. What the fuck? What is that supposed to mean? Nothing. I didn't mean anything by that. I was just saying I could never eat a burger like that because then I might look like... I could just never eat a burger like that. That's all. You can never eat a burger like this. Oh, okay. How about that? Oh, I'm sorry. I seem to have spilled a little bit of my sauce on your shirt somehow. You did? Oh, well, why don't I just go ahead and slowly look down at it? Hey, don't you ever talk mess about my delicious double-double.
That's, like, how do you not hear yourself? Like, that is weird as fuck to say to a fat person. Who is eating the food? Like,
it's weird to go to In-N-Out and not eat anything. Like, I just came here to make fun of you for eating this burger and to let you know that I would never eat this burger. Okay, Jill, well, why did you come with us to In-N-Out then? What the fuck, man? You could have told me all this before we left the house, Jill. You got in the car with me, drove all the way to In-N-Out just so you could sit there like this? I could never eat such a burger. I am never taking you out to eat again. That would be funny to agree to go out to eat with somebody, and then you go there and you order nothing and you just watch them eat and you go, I could never eat that. Man, I gotta stop inviting you out. You do this every time. What kind of head games are you playing, man?
that's so strange. I understand that people project their insecurities onto other people sometimes. I do it. Everybody does that.
I don't. I'm a perfect person.
But, like, I just feel like it is so tone deaf to be, like, looking at a fat person eating food and then saying to them, I wish I could eat that, but I would gain so much weight. Like,
I agree. That's very, very rude. Some people are very dumb, though. So you have to try to figure out if somebody is rude or they're just really dumb.
That's just, like, come on. That's crazy. And I've had it happen to me, like, countless amounts of times. This is, like, kind of an older generation thing. I don't really have that many people, like, my age saying this to me because I just feel like it's preposterous. But just the whole like, oh, you'd be so pretty if you lost weight. That is such a strange thing to say. Like,
the older generation likes that one a lot. They're trying to be nice, dude.
You have such a pretty face, like that kind of energy. Weird as f***. Don't start a sentence with you'd be so pretty if, and it's not something that the person can change in 2 minutes. Like,
why does it have to be something the person can change in 2 minutes? If somebody was like, yeah, man, you're really dope, except you're always getting really shit-faced drunk, and it makes you into a terrible person. That would be a legit criticism, even though they likely won't get sober in 2 minutes.
like, that's just not right. Like, you're like, oh, you'd be so pretty if you did your eyebrows like this. I'm like, okay, period, because I have had and been victim to eyebrow blindness before.
Right, you don't like people telling you that you'd be so pretty if you did this other thing because it requires actual lifestyle changes.
That I think is fine. It's so weird to say something like that about something that the person can't change right away. Like, that's not it. Skinny people are just silly goofy. Like, it's really fun.
All of us.
Fine. A lot of the time I don't think they mean anything bad by it. But I promise there probably is like a better way to compliment someone than say, you look like you get good hugs or you have a pretty face. You know?
I agree that it is rude to tell somebody that they look like they give good hugs. What the hell does that mean? You saying I look like a goddamn pillow? And if somebody says, you'd be so pretty if you lost weight, you have a pretty face, I'll bet you 9 times out of 10 it's somebody from the older generation. Next.
Oh my gosh, I forgot to ask you guys, have you seen Becky from college on Instagram?
Yeah, I hate Becky.
She looks incredible. I feel like she's probably on some weight loss drug or something. Yeah, actually my doctor keeps bringing that up to me and I'm just a little bit nervous about the side effects. True, but with all the success stories out there, it's hard to not be intrigued. Actually, speaking of success stories, I just joined a virtual body image group and it's been really helpful at drowning out some of the noise, all the diet culture talk that's been seemingly everywhere these days.
A virtual body image group. Okay, so let me guess. You're selling a virtual body image group?
And I'm really proud of myself for trying something new.
I'm really proud of myself for trying something new, and it's the product that you're selling. Man, with all the ruffled mustaches out there, it can be really easy to lose faith in this world. Yeah, I've heard that it's really rough out there for people with a ruffled mustache. You're right, it is. Unless you buy this mustache comb that I happen to be selling. I love the little back and forth scenario, and then at the end we end up recommending our own products to our audience. A virtual body image group. What the hell does that mean? I'm gonna join your group and you're gonna be like, looking snatched, like. Alright, so I'm guessing you pay her to basically hang out with her. So what do you think of the clips that we just saw? Are 80s and 90s clothes fat-phobic and people that could fit into them have thin privilege? Is heart disease caused by a lack of access to different carbohydrates and sugars to clear out your arteries? And do skinny people say the darndest things to fat people? Leave a comment below. Happy Friday, everybody. I hope you have a great weekend. Anyway, that about does it. Thanks for watching, commenting, liking, and subscribing. And I'll see you in the next one.